So this is the second in our series where we're presenting work from selected members of VII Community. For those who don't know, VII Community is a network of alumni who have been through VII Academy courses or Foundry Photojournalism workshop courses. And this network now provides support beyond those courses to assist in careers and development, and it's a new initiative also supported by PhotoWings, and we're very grateful for that. In June on VII Insider, we hosted the first presentation with perspectives from Africa. We're very keen to highlight the diversity of voices and the diversity of stories. And so for our second event, we wanted to focus on people who are doing stories in Southeast Asia, East Asia. And so therefore it's a great pleasure to have Ranita Roy, Nhàn Tran, and Billy Kwok here with us today. So thank you guys for joining us. What we're going to do is each of you is going to share one particular story and talk to one particular story. But Ranita, let's begin with you. And just maybe a couple of biographical and professional points to begin with. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came into photography or visual journalism, and how you think about the purpose of your work and what you're trying to do.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone from Jakarta. Right now, I'm in Jakarta. And so I started my photography in 2015. It was by accident because I was doing my master's in environmental science and I had no idea about photography. But that time I was going through depression and one day I was just thought, go out from my home with a small point and shoot camera because I had no idea what I would do on street. And I started like clicking pictures on street. I think at the end of the day, I realized, okay, this is kind of when I'm taking photographs, I'm not thinking about other things, which is making me depressed. So since then till now, every day I click photographs. It can be with a mobile phone. So it's for me, it's more like a healing process. And so I started as a street photographer. Then my role is changing day by day. On also my viewpoint in this visual medium. Right now I'm exploring videos, audios, like different things. Also, I started making handmade photo books. So yeah, I like to just create new things. Like I'm not only doing photography. So, and with this work is more like this work is first. It was an assignment. Two of my friends, they asked me if I want to be a fixer for a story, and I went to Odisha. It's a coastal region in India in 2019. Back then, I had not much information about the story. I went there and I was just, taking them to the places where cyclone happened, and they let me to take photographs also. And while I was also like helping them with the languages, I also hearing their stories. And from that, I started realizing how big is the problem is. And it was almost after 3-4 months of the cycle. And since I could see things were like that only. Nothing really recovered. Many people lost their homes. And when I came back, I was like in a trauma, like, okay, we are like in a safe place. But also in my childhood, I saw many floods was happening in my hometown, but we were not that much affected. But in 2020, during the when the Amphan cyclone happened, it's really like it was huge in our area in my hometown, and then as a like I also faced the cyclone disaster also with my family. Like then I think it was became more personal. Then I take this project in a more serious way, and I started documenting since then, like more closely.
And I mean, you have as you said, a background in environmental science. Is this story kind of your background coming into connection with photography because of the focus on the environment and on the climate crisis?
Yeah, when I was studying environmental science, I never thought that it will help me to document this kind of topic, but I think it's very important because when I talk to scientists or people who are working in this field, some things, like really help me to understand better in a way. But I think at the end, the human stories matter. What I am listening from the local people.
Yeah.
So data and scientific data and the news, these are obviously I follow, but my interests are more human related stories, what is going on, and I focus more on the emotion.
Yeah. So why don't you share your screen, take us through the story, and let's see some of those elements. And we'll also be thinking about kind of who the story is for, what impact you hope to have with it, and where it's going, if you like.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, that's good.
So I just so like I said, I grew up in a small town in Andhra, and
Yep.
there was almost no photographer when I grew up, but then I moved into like big cities, and I also did like hostel environmental training program in Jakarta in 2020 during the COVID. So it also helped me to cover this kind of issues. So the project called Standing on the Edge. And you can see it on the map. These are my project areas. I cannot zoom it in, but it's Sundarban area and sorry, and the Odisha. So I'm focusing on mainly this part since 2019.
Right.
They know it will come again and take away precious things in a place. People will lose their home, belongings, and loved ones. So this image you can see like is a more like metaphoric image. I take it that just in this year, I felt like it shows that how the strong winds create a wave-like structure near a beach, and a seashell is being viewed as a drowning boat because many fishermen in the coastal area they go for fishing during cyclone, even though they know that it will come, but they need to earn their living, and many people they die.
Yeah.
This image is just before the storm was coming, and I still can remember I was standing on a bridge and shooting these photographs, but I was also scared how things will turn. This is the I think first photograph I took during the cyclone Fani in Odisha when I went for that assignment. And this woman was talking about how she lost his home and she was living in this home without, you can see the roof is no more, like it's no shade. And while she was talking about it, she just looked at the roof, and she was telling me that still is like a trauma for me when I still remember that night. This man is in my hometown. It's during the cyclone Amphan. Just after the cyclone Amphan, when I went out and I saw like big trees, what I saw from like childhood is like a really, really big trees. It was all fallen in the ground. And this man, he lost his home and he was trying to save whatever he can. This image is from Cyclone Bulbul. It's totally like you can see the outside and inside photographs, how it's happened, and the people they were living in the roadside and they didn't have like sufficient food and also water. It's during Cyclone Yash. His name is Afzal Khan. He is 58. And it's during the Yash, and I went there, and he was telling me he knew that the cyclone will come, but he never thought that it will destroy everything and it will take away almost everything from his home. And he also lost his son. During the cyclone, many trees fall into the ponds, and because of it, the fishes and the other animals in the pond die. As plants and animals die and sink to the bottom of the pond, they start decompose. This kind of water has a lack of oxygen and has become like non-drinkable and polluted. Access of safe drinking water is a big problem in cyclone affected areas. Even what I saw in my area when cyclone happened, we had like only one tubewell where we can collect the drinking water from, and there was a like huge line every time, and you can only collect like one bucket of water for your family. According to official estimates, almost 4 lakh farmers of the South Chobis Pargana district have been affected by the cyclone, with a majority suffering a complete loss of the seasonal crop. A betel leaf farmer whose field were in the 6 mile is an area in Bokhali. He is trying to save whatever he can for this season harvest because he doesn't have any other way of earning his living. A fisherman is trying to collect fish from the waterlogged farmland for a living after Cyclone Amphan. As the whole area is in Sundarban is waterlogged and there is running out of food. So many areas they're like big trees is falls and people are trying by their own to cut those trees and clear their paths because I mean for days and days no official no I mean government official they didn't help them, so they need to go to the places and buy their food or do their daily stuff, so they are doing by their own. And because of that when many people are dehydrated because they don't have like safe drinking water, and this woman it's like an island, so they need to arrange a boat and they were taking her to the hospital. It's also during cyclone Fani when I saw like domestic animals were on the road, they were starving. People abandoned them just because they didn't have enough food after the Fani cyclone. This map you can see is like a government official. They build a new homes for the people in a very far away from the sea. But these people they are earning their living from you know uh, selling fish or catching fish like this kind of activity. So normally they don't go to those far land, and people who went they are suffering from other things because there is no safe drinking water. You can see in the top there is a factory, and because of it, their drinking groundwater is polluted. So after this, I mean, this work got published in the Caravan, and almost I had no idea that I will publish this story or not. But I had lots of photographs. Then suddenly I got call from the Caravan magazine editor, and she published my story. And it's really created an impact in my area, basically because I write the report about my area, what happened, even politically. And then some people, they came into my home and they asked why like said these things about our area, because I got few threats and stuff. But yeah, I know that I need to take this news out outside in the world, because it's a really small town and normally no big news coverage happen in this area. And
So,
this work is also, sorry.
so
Yeah.
people were coming to your home and asking about why you were telling this story?
Yes, because this report was mainly focused on my locality.
Right.
And I write about our locality, what happens, because almost more than like 1 month we didn't have like electricity, and also the drinking water we had to buy, or only one tube well we have in that locality. So it was a huge thing for us what we saw. I mean, in my lifetime, this was the first time I saw this kind of thing, like I faced with my family. So I write this whole thing. And then some people from the government side, they came to my home and they were asking, but nothing really big happened. But yeah, I mean, because the local people were supporting this story, because
Right.
they also faced this problem. Um, so I think this story kind of created an impact in my area, basically, because before people didn't know what I do. And with this story, first time I kind of did one story in my hometown.
Yeah.
And this work also got exhibited. It was a finalist in Oscar Burnett Award. And then people started noticing this issue more, and I was more cautious that okay, like this work got like this I mean accepted in this huge thing, so I have to be more careful with the story. And I started more research, because I think I know I have a background in environmental science, but I never think that I know everything. So it's more like also for me, it's a learning process while I'm working on the story. So 93% of heat from global warming goes to the ocean, and warm water are an energy source for cyclones. So right now I'm focusing on how heat waves also affect cyclone. Before I never thought that it can be also an issue, but right now I'm more researching on it. And um, Roxy Matthew, he's a climate scientist. He's like, uh, I read his reports and I'm trying to interview him maybe in future, because he also lives in Pune where I live right now. So yeah. And for the future, I'm more focusing on the children future, what will happen. Because last, when I went, this year, I went to a coastal area. It's called Mondanoni. And I went there just not to document this story. I just went there for a vacation. And I started asking people about the cyclone years. And still I can see that they were like still can feel and still can remember those what happened. And when I was seeing the children, and they have no idea, what could happen. So I was really worried to see them. And right now, I'm more focusing on the children and how they feel, or I'm talking to them about this topic. And I want to bring this issue to my story too. And
So
also, sometimes, sorry.
So this is an ongoing story for you, Ranita?
Yes, yes. Because I think I never finished this project. I was taking a break because I was thinking like I was kind of repeating images and things. So I took a pause. But last time when I went to a vacation, I started the conversation very casually. And when these things actually came into my mind, I saw a little kid. He was making uh, like a home with the sand, and it was keep destroyed by the waves. And she was trying to make that home. So then I find out that how this community, they are again and again building their home and about their resilience. So then I thought that why not to add this chapter in this story. Then I focused on this. It's more like, for me, the process is more like when I talk to the people, actually, they gave me the clue what to do next.
Right.
Yeah, and this image is also like just after cyclone. Uh, and they were like sitting on a fallen tree, but they are having a nice conversation. It also shows the resilience of the community.
Definitely. Yeah.
And also, I'm trying to experiment with photos and videos nowadays. I don't keep myself, only one medium. So yeah, this is the story where I want to go with, like, with the
Yeah.
hope, and also how the children, what is their future looks like. And this is like added things. Sometime I collect, not sometime, I'm every time just I collect whenever I go to the cyclone affected areas. Just after the cyclone, I collect the things like butterflies. So many butterflies, they died just after the cyclone. And also you can see the in the right side, this is a painting. It's handmade painting and it's very expensive. It's from a local artist, and he lost almost all the paintings. And he was telling me, instead of taking his portrait, I collect this damaged painting because it's more like, I maybe if in future I uh, do some exhibition or something, I want to keep this as an object. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranita. Maybe you can put your camera back on. There we go. Thank you very much. What sort of impact would you like the story to have with the community? You talked about the impact of the political officials turning up, but a community supporting it. What would you like the story to do in the community and for the community?
So I believe that with this story, I don't think there will be a really, really big change because it's a really big area, and also I cannot control the government how they are thinking.
Of course.
But it's more like whenever people will see this, I am planning to do some exhibition locally where people also can understand more about it. And yeah, it's more like, I don't know if it can create a big impact, but
Yeah.
maybe if it creates a small impact in a small area, I think that's for me is, yeah, what I want.
Yeah, absolutely. Through the connection to the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thanks. We'll come back to that. Just a reminder to people in the audience: if you want to pose a question, please drop it in the Q&A box. I'll ask that of the presenters, or we'll definitely try and get to it by the end. Billy, you're going to share a story with us.
Hi everyone. I'm Billy.
Tell us a little bit about your background and how you came into photography and the purpose behind the story that you're going to show.
Yeah, I'm from Hong Kong, and I based in Taiwan for 6 to 7 years, and I came back to Hong Kong in 2019, and then go back and forth. And I work on stories in Hong Kong and Taiwan as well. And currently I'm working a project about mother. So I will show you later. So I used to work as a freelance photojournalist in Hong Kong, working for media and covering news for them. Uh, and and after these years, the changing in the society and most years, and I'm trying to turn the aspects from documentary and then to more multimedia like storytelling ways to tell more in-depth stories. So the one I show you is a series of photographs and documents that showing a mother, the different aspect of a mother. She's called Yulai Wailing. And then the daily struggle of her searching for her son who disappeared in like 23 years ago in 2000, who lost in the border. Um, I mean, her son got lost um, with her mother, like in the center of the city, and then cross the border to China, and then disappear. So this is a story of this is the background of the story. So
Right.
what I'm doing is cooperate and then co-work with the mother and looking into her archive, uh, the notes she made, and then the materials. I added the materials and then I add my photograph into the materials and then making a narrative and showing a different aspect of a mother searching her son. And also it shows a lot of different angles and different story of the identity issues and also the relationship between Hong Kong and Taiwan at that time in 2000. It's like 3 years just after the handover from British to China. So it's a very big change and see a lot of different things in the project. So I will show you my
Great.
screen.
And just to be clear, so the mother was separated from her child in a crowd in the city, and the child has been missing for 23 years now.
Yeah, at that time he's 15 years old.
Right.
But the mentally is like 2 years old. So he do not have any identity card on him, and he just crossed the border and disappeared.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And you will probably come to this in the story, but how did she find out that he had crossed the border from Hong Kong into mainland China?
Yeah, because at that time, just after the handover, the relationship is like a little bit tension.
Right.
So people are wondering around, oh, well, what is the people? I mean, what is China and what are we going to expect?
Yeah.
So there is a boy lost in the border. Is a very big news at that time.
Right.
So he's quite same age with me, so it's a very big news at that generation.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Right.
this is the border. So this is Hong Kong.
Right.
After the mountain, this is the border, and this is the border, and after the mountain, this is Shenzhen.
Yeah.
So that is China. So we can just walk through, walk the river and then cross the border.
Yeah. Billy, do you want to put
So
your images full screen?
Yeah, I'm already full screen.
Okay. We can see the thumbnails of about 12.
Oh, how about this? Oh, sorry.
Nothing
Is it
has
okay
changed.
now?
It's still the same. Is it possible to be able to focus on one image full screen at a time?
Let me try. That is.
Okay. We see 6 images. I thought when we set this up, you had them so that we had 1 image at a time, full screen. But what we're seeing are the
Yeah.
six images on the page. But if you want to, if that's what we work with, take it through those.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's mainly a like documentary and also a journey of the mother searching for her son. So I added the materials. So these are the materials. So where are the materials from? Because at the beginning of she crossed the border and searched for her son. She want to clear every cities in order to find her son. So she take a lot of pictures of the homeless people on the street at that time in Shenzhen. It's a very I mean, she's not a photographer at that, obviously, and she take the Polaroid out and then take a lot of pictures. It is not her purpose to take pictures. Her purpose is like looking for her son. But at that time, um, the instant photo provide her an instant evidence of the area of how many people and they are all not her son, so she can move to the next spot to search for her son. That's why she have a lot of photographs left behind for us to like discover. And you know, in China's policy, this is like all people are like invisible population. They are not counted in a like general population. So we cannot see them like in the official data. But because of the mother, because of her act, there's a lot of like important pictures for us. And yeah, so these the homeless people, I'll show you. There are thousands of them. Can you see that?
Yes. So
Yeah.
there's a frame with 100 Polaroid photos, but it's quite small.
And can you, because I full screen it now, can you see the full screen now?
No, that hasn't made any difference, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. So yeah, no worries, I will show you the PDF. So we have a lot of Polaroid of the homeless, but at the same time, there's a lot of people sending their letters to the mother saying that, oh, this is your son. So do you want to buy them or do you want to like have the son and then asking for more money? So this showing the different uh, aspect of the mainland China people and also the Hong Kong people, how they see each other. So it's also it's like last 20 years until now.
So there are people in mainland China writing to the mother saying that they know where the son is.
Yeah, or they have the son, or they are, I see your son. So do you mind if you want to like send us some money? Or do you want this son? I can sell you this son or something like that. So there are a lot of letters left behind that as a archive.
Right.
Yeah. So this is the exhibition view because I make it as a exhibition currently. So this is part of the map, and this is the map that the mother used to search for her son just cross the border. This is one of the city. So on the map, I pinned the Polaroid that all homelessness that she found, and then I pinned it on the map. And on the right hand side, there's a few letters that there are a few photos that are a little bit different. Can you see that?
Yes.
I'm enlarging the photos. They're a little bit different. So these are the photos that sent from China and showing that, oh, this is your son. Do you want this son? Something like that. So I put it together at that I'm according to the time because her mother filing very well, have the time and have the location. So it's like a geolocation by searching for her son. So I
Right.
redo the step and then I pin it with different layers on the map with the Polaroid and the letters and other archival materials. So it's also put it into different years and different cities. It's like a very big map from the south of China to the north of China.
Right.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, because this is a fascinating image, this is showing in the location where they come from, the photos that have been sent to the mother by people claiming to have seen the sun, and they claim these photos show the sun in this location.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there are a lot of people in a large area who are making this
yeah,
claim.
yeah. There are also homelessness, but at the same time, one more thing is that I looking to the letters that claim to be their son, right? So
Right.
I discovered something. Is that there's a like same pictures at that time they write the letters. So I search it according to the return letters. So I found that there is a sender from the same location, but they have different uh the same pictures, or they are the same pictures from different locations. So I create a map. It's showing a like invisible map of the human trafficking networking or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And are the authorities in Hong Kong or mainland China interested in these
It
stories, or are they not paying attention to this issue at all?
in the very beginning, like 2000, there's in many news happened, and it's like a big news, like every newspaper writing about it. And then, but there's a quite interesting value. I mean, different value of mainland China people. They think that okay, it's not a very big deal that losing a son. But at the same time, the Hong Kong people think that oh, this is a very important thing because there's someone crossed the border and disappeared. So there's like two, at that time, it's a just beginning of two systems going together.
Right.
So there's a lot of different values like coming across and then like something like that. So
Yeah.
this is the exhibition view. I project the map that she used on the wall,
Yeah.
and then I pin it on the map. And at the same time, I go back to the location that these pictures, the three pictures that claim they're their son. In
Yeah.
the letters, they have a lot of, they have many handwritten letters in the same letters. So they have locations, they have the time, where to wait and where we can meet, and then at what locations. They have a beautiful story. So I go back to the locations and then I take the landscape of that.
Right.
23 years later. Yeah.
Right. So
And
your
this,
other images are kind of connecting to the portraits in that sense.
right, right. But at the same time, it's also discovered the other problem that like when the city is going to develop, where are these people going? Because we can't find them now. The very well developed cities with no homelessness people when I walk around is a totally different from 20 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. And on the right hand side, this is in her mother's home. Yeah. So this is the other statue, like hoping for her son to come back, and chicken guiding the spirit to come back home.
Right.
Yeah. So this is the exhibition view. So this is two pictures on the wall, and then a bigger map showing the locations.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a combination of the photograph and also archival materials.
Yeah.
So but I can also show you something. I will stop sharing and then I will show you in my hand because all materials are on my hand now. So oh sorry, expert. So what I'm doing with that is like there's a lot of different homelessness. Sorry,
You'll need to switch the blurring off.
yeah.
down on the videos, on the stop video thing with the up arrow.
Yeah. So these are all the homeless people. So what I'm doing is like make it in the edit and then put it in the locations and then the map as well.
Right.
So combined with photograph. Yeah.
So what was people's response to the exhibition when you showed this? How did they respond to the story that you were exhibiting?
Wow, that's so interesting because it's like you can feel very strong that there's a news, there's a generation, it's a big news to one generation, but it's like zero to the other.
Right.
Yeah, so when some younger people come to see this exhibition or see this story, they have no idea of who is the mother and who is the son.
Right.
So they can see what the structure of the story and what I'm talking about. But at the same time, if there's like people who already know about this news, they have a lot of emotionals in this because this is their generation and they have a lot of different ideas and ideology put into the story.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great, Billy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Billy, just one question for you before we go to Nhàn. The exhibition was in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Where was it exhibited in Hong Kong? Was it with a photo gallery or another place?
Oh, it's a art space. It's called Parasite.
Right.
And is still on exhibition now until the end of this month. And this is the chapter 2 of this story.
Right.
So yeah, the chapter 1, I'm showing the chapter 1 story is with all the archival materials, so people can touch it and can feel the texture.
Right.
And the second one is that what I showed, they are put in on the wall. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks, Billy. We'll come back with some more questions later. Again, just a reminder to folks in the audience, you can drop questions into the Q&A box. I'll ask those. Nhàn, hello. Tell us a little bit about your background before you share your story and how you got into photography and how you see the purpose of your work.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. My name is Nhàn. I'm a Vietnamese photographer based between Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. In 2013, I actually studied in finance and banking in Ho Chi Minh City. But that wasn't the first time I held a camera and photograph a student charity programs that allow me to feel the flexibility that photography can bring to me to narrate the story. And afterwards, I focus on producing several photo stories and help me to connecting to the people who are different identities and who also had different characters and personality than mine, so that I got attracted by photography. And between the 2018 till present, I've been further involved in the documentary photography by working on a long-term photographic that I will share with you all later. And in recent years, my work focused on minority groups, exploring the theme of human conditions. And I want to my work to strive to draw attention to the social issues and to advocate for equitable and sustainable development in my country. So I gonna to share my screen right now.
Sounds good. So this is a story called Between the Silent Eyes.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about the subject of the story.
Between the Silent Eyes is an ongoing photographic documentation exploring the social cultural issue of the young Hmong women in Vietnam. The Hmong migrated from the southern China to Southeast Asian countries There was a persecution in the 19th century. And according to the latest census, there are over 1 million Hmong people residing in the mountainous and north of Vietnam, out of 11 Hmong people across the way. And Hà Giang province is the first migrated place where the traditional and cultural living method almost remain in existence. The Hmong couple frequently circumvent the law and move together before they reach a legal age of marriage at 18 for women and 20 for men, often due to the benefit food security and strengthen the bloodline behind the whole system. The patrilineal culture often views the women's roles as shouldering the bulk of domestic labor and childcare with little to no say in the family decisions. I first approached to the young Hmong generations in late 2019 while planning a traditional Hmong wedding, but actually didn't start to photograph at the time. But I come to pay attention to a young Hmong girl. She was very young. She was perhaps 16 years old at the time, and she was a bride, and she has already a children. And I was surprised that why she build a family at a young age. Why not equipping knowledge about the familial life and duty after approaching the marriage with a curious gaze. And then when I look back at my 16 years old, I was a person who was full of dream and hopes and also curiosity about the world outside. And I was actually still continue my education at that time. So that's why I started to photograph the Hmong community to understand their circumstances and also their own decisions. The first chapter of this project, I want to take a closer look at the quick transition between the childhood and adulthood, the lacking of fully growth time as an adult, photograph the resilience and precarity as they deal with the challenges of raising a family at a young age and the youthful nature and family duty. This she was 19 at the time to take a picture, looking her baby sleeping before hanging out with her friends. She stressed that she didn't have any chances to go outside her living environment since the marriage, because in the traditional Hmong culture, as a Hmong girl becomes a wife, she isn't allowed to talk with another Hmong man who haven't yet married or left the village alone, because it would be viewed as having an affair with another man. This is the shadow of Sing in her friend's house in Hà Giang province. Before she married officially at 18, she and her husband living together for over a year and gave birth at 17. In Vietnam, according to the UNICEF, from 2020 to 2021, 7.4% of adolescent women and 1.4% of teenage men were married or living together as husband and wife. Among the women and men aged 20-24 survey, 14.6% of women who got into early marriage before the age of 18, compared with 1.9% of the men who got married before the age of 18, many of them prevalent to minority groups.
Mm-hmm.
This is also Xing, as she is wearing the red shoes, and her some 8 friends who is standing, preparing for hanging out. Her friend married a Chinese man and now settled down in China. In the Hmong villages, many Hmong girls and women are approached by their strangers through the internet and treated by illusory promises about the future life, and then were sold and they was kidnapped and sold to China as a false wife or labor slavery, and some of them have never returned home. This is another girl, Mai. She was 19 at the time to take the picture. She got married at 16. Working on the confused in the late morning. She is in the last months of her pregnancy. This is also Mai and her first daughter at her home in Sing Tung Chữ village, Hadian province. At 13, Mai went to China with other Hmong people in the same town searching for work. And there she met a guy who later became her husband. Even though she was not interested in him, her birth parents agreed after he poured a lot of amount of dowry and asked for Mai's hand in marriage. In the north of Vietnam, some Hmong parents cannot afford to feed many mouths in the family, so they decided to marry their daughters off to reduce the financial burden. At the hospital, Mai gave birth and prefaced to the second child with the help of her sister-in-law. According to the 2021 study by UNICEF, while the minority communities account for only 15% of total population in Vietnam, the infant mortality rate of this group is approximately 3.5 times higher than the major populations, and with many underreporting cases, especially in the rural mountainous area. This is also Mai. She and her newborn at home in the village. She said, "I feel the knife cutting my belly. In the operating room, the doctor injects painkillers and then operates. I'm afraid of the surgery, but you cannot die because of pain. After 7 days, I was allowed to go home. If I ate more, I would feel pain at the incision." She shared of her postpartum experience, and she thinks that if she doesn't leave the village to fight the job, she will not be able to provide well for her children. Mai is hugging her son and her 4-year-old daughter, standing before her neighbor's house, posing for a picture during the last few weeks at home before moving to a bigger city for work. Mai, she was approaching 20 at the time to take a picture in 2022. She tried to practice writing Vietnamese while her 2 children were sleeping, and she said, "I'm afraid of being scolded for being illiterate." So she kept practicing writing her name, her address, and her parents' name in case the people in the city ask for her signature or information. With an attempt to change the socio-economic status, the young monks are in search of work in bigger cities and towns. They open the one view toward the rest of the nation, especially for the Hmong women and girls who rarely get the chances to go outside their autonomous community in the mountains. And the difference of the Hmong culture in the major population is also revealed by their decision to leave the mountains. The young Hmong women who have a traditional responsibility that's significant to their belief, what between the fragile line of balancing their culture and modern desire. With the second chapter, I really want to further explore how the young Hmong generations balance their cultural practice to adapt to the Vietnamese integration, show what the new chapter in the city look like, and how an attempt to change the socio-economic status impacts other generations living under one roof that are viewed to contribute to the future Hmong development. On February 18, 2022, Mai and her husband, who is wearing the white mark on the bottom right corner, with other Hmong people catch a bus and take nearly 3 days to travel down to Bình Dương City, nearly 1,700 kilometers from their home. Mai, wearing the white mark in the right corner, and other Hmong mothers in the first night in Bình Dương City. Bình Dương is one of the largest cities in the south of Vietnam. Recent years, with the government's open policy toward the foreign investment, the city has become the dream destination for employees and 85% of them are from other provinces and cities, including minority groups, and the minority workers can be paid up to 10 million Vietnam dong, approximately $450 a month, and that was considered a good salary for a minority worker. This also might before heading to the industrial park and applying for the position of lead making worker. And this is the last images. A monk dress is held on the wall where the monk workers living in the city. It plays an essential significance to the monk's women life. And this means they mark their monk identity whenever they go. With this project, I really want to use a photography to emphasize the power of silence and to emphasize the power of quiet moments. And I think if it would be put together delicately, that quiet moment can speak out loud. And I think the quiet moments it become closer to my girl's character and personality, who I been observed over years. And this is my story.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Was it difficult to get access to the Hmong community at the beginning? How did you get access? Because you've been able to be with them close up, travel with them, and so on. Was that a difficult process?
At the time when I started this project, I based in the south of Vietnam, and the Hmong community mainly residing in the north of Vietnam, and the distance between the two places is approximately 1,700 kilometers. So I remember in the early 2019, I was take a break from my job at that time, so I just embarked on a trip to the north of Vietnam, and then as a normal traveler, and so I was invited to join the traditional Hmong wedding, and as that time I didn't really start to work on this project, but I came to pay attention to a very young Hmong girl who was a bride at that time, and she was about 16 years old, and I just wonder why she got early married at such a young age. And because when I look back at my 16 years old, I was a person who are really curious about the world outside, and I'm a person who's full of dream and hopes, and I am keen on to pursue on my education to approach more opportunity for my jobs and to improve my life later. So I just curious, and I start to photographing this project to understand their circumstances and their own decisions. Yeah.
And are you exhibiting this project? How are you communicating the project to either the Hmong community or in Vietnam itself?
Actually, when I started this project, I didn't actually think about the output for this project. Yeah, I just follow my instinct. And then when I submitted the project for the Objective Center for Photography in 2020, and when I received the acceptance, I was announced to several Hmong girls who becomes my close friends at the time, and I tried to get back to the region and bring some small print images that I want to show in the exhibition for them. Yeah, and that's the way I communicate with the Hmong community about the output of this project.
Yeah. And what would you like the output to be now? If you had total control, what would you want to do with the project?
Yeah.
Would you like to make a big exhibition? Would you like to have it in the media? What would be the place you would like the project to live and communicate to people?
Actually, at the moment, I feel a little bit stuck to tell the Hmong communities stories with only still images. So to be honest, I haven't I haven't taken any new photographs at this year, but I try to approach another technique. So currently, I try to develop this project as a documentary film.
Yeah,
that follow-ups the two young Hmongers, who one is the single Hmonger and another is already a mother of children. I really want to emphasize the complexity that the young Hmong generation have been through in the context of the Vietnamese contemporary.
excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're coming towards the end of our time, but I have one question that I would like to ask each of you. And I mean, there are a number of things that are common between your projects, which are very impressive. One is that I think each of your projects requires quite a lot of research and context to be able to do the work, which I think is a very important element to stress. They're all long-form documentary projects. They take a lot of time. You have to invest a lot of your time in it, a lot of effort and so on. And we all know that long-form documentary projects are very hard to sustain financially, to make a living out of. So how are you all managing to pay the bills, buy the food, while doing and focusing on the work? Ranita, why don't you start? Tell us a bit about how you manage to sustain your work.
So the thing is that I'm the only earning member for my family, so it's a huge pressure for me. But I think I'm getting assignments which are also related to climate change topic, which also help me to learn more about new things, new technology. I mean, this year I got another project from Microsoft. It was about the heat wave and how you can literally calculate the heat wave. You can literally see it on the app. So this kind of new technology also I'm learning because of the assignment, and I'm also earning money from different assignments. And sometime I, keep some money aside for funding my projects, because I'm trying to get a grant, but not every time, you got accepted. So most of my work I'm funding by myself.
Yeah. So assignments, meaning assignments from media organizations, but also the Microsoft one is interesting. That's not a traditional media organization. So other companies like that too?
Yeah, like New York Times, and then different NGOs also I work with. It's most of the time it's about the community and climate change topic. And mainly with this project also I'm trying to include different aspects to this project. So I'm also trying to include the scientific data, and also I created um, like flood mapping with my friend. So I'm collaborating with my friend to create a image. I would like to share
yes.
Yeah. So this kind of image, my friend Russell Sarkar, he actually made this kind of images for my story. So you can see it here.
Yeah.
So he's using SAR data to make this kind of image, because normally cyclones happen during the rainy season. So with the SAR data, you can literally penetrate the cloud and you can have the clear image. So yeah, this is how I'm trying to collaborate with different people and trying to do my work.
Excellent.
As well as to feed my family.
Yeah. Yes. Excellent. Billy, how do you sustain your long-term documentary projects? Are you able to work in other aspects of photography, or do you have other ways of sustaining it?
Well, I try to do more things that outside of photography to sustain my life. Yeah, but it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
It's a little bit difficult. Yeah, so I quite like photography and trying to work for assignments for the media agency,
Yep.
so to sustain the work. But it's quite difficult because always depends on how many things happen around you.
Sure. Yeah.
And yeah, so maybe it's good to find some like stories and pitch the stories for them.
Yeah.
And try. Yeah.
But most of your work is within photography broadly defined. And then so that's very successful then.
Thank you.
And Nhàn, what about you? How do you sustain your Hmong project and other projects that you're working on?
Actually, I am not working as a full-time photographer and photojournalist in Vietnam. I am making money to sustain my living with another job.
Yep.
And sometimes I got some freelance jobs about the videography, so I can make a little bit money from that job, and then return to invest to my to my personal project.
Which is one of the most common things in the profession. That's what everyone is doing and has done for a very long time. It's very hard to sustain documentary projects directly. Everyone does other work, invests some of that money into their own projects and so on. And, you know, that takes a lot of commitment, and you've shown us a lot of commitment today coming out in those projects. So that brings us to the end of our time, and I just want to thank you for your time, for talking us through those projects. They're very exciting and very important projects, all of them in their own ways, and we really appreciate hearing about them. So thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll have a recording of this on our website before too long that you can share with other people as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you to
so
everyone in
much.
the audience for attending, and we'll look forward to seeing you again. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.